boys and girls, and welcome to Behind the Turmoil. I thought I would do a little behind the scenes here of Turmoil and Turtle Peak since the Christmas Special will be debuting here in a couple of weeks. I thought this would be a good time to maybe explain a little bit of this to people that maybe are new to it or haven't seen it or whatever. I mean, I figure most people that watch this know what's going on, but you know, for the newbies, I just want to break it down for you. Okay, so well, it starts back in the '90s, buddy. Back when Toast, my band Toast, the band Toast was playing. Toast, of course, featuring me and Butch Martin, Mike Baisden, and Big Duke Frank, Rhett Hillary. So I said, hey man, let's have a Christmas party at the Gill. And the Gill was, you know, my parents' old house where I had a jam room, or had a jam room for 20 some odd years. We called it the Gill. I said, let's have a Christmas party at the Gill, and we'll all make treat tapes, and we'll just sit around and get liquored up and listen to them. Now, treat tapes, kids, treat tapes are cassette tapes, okay? They're like mixtapes of music and movie quotes, comedy bits, drunken 4-track crap. I mean, it's basically just a mixtape of stuff to make you laugh. And so we had this Christmas party, and treat tapes, now, they were already a thing before this. I mean, they were starting to become a thing, especially between me and Butch. We were always sideswiping each other with these things all the time. Sometimes we'd listen to them before practice, sometimes after practice. But most of the time it was like this. When we were leaving, it was one of us coming up to the other going, hey man, check that shit out on your way home. That's basically how it went down. But they were already becoming a thing, and after the Christmas party, you know, it got out of control. And I decided I wanted to do this radio show. I wanted to do this fake radio show that would go like on the road with Toast or whatever, and just do all this crazy stuff. And I was trying to come up with a name for the host. I wanted two people to host it. And so Butch is over at my old apartment, and we're in there, and I said, I'm gonna do this radio show, man, and I'm gonna call the host, his name is gonna be Balance. And the reason why I said Balance is because me and Butch were both obsessed with that album Balance by Van Halen at the time. I mean, we bonded deeply over that album, man. We were probably talking about it or listening to it or something, is how that came about. Because I said, I'm gonna name him Balance. And then I just blurted out, I'm gonna name him Balance Suarez. And he spit up all over himself. He misheard me. And he says, SWBYPS? And then I spit up all over myself. And so there you have it. Balance SWBYPS was born. Now, if you don't know what SWBYPS is, or you're too young or don't remember, SWBYPS was the Southwestern Bell Yellow Pages. And that was the little acronym or whatever that they used for that SWBYPS, and they called it SWBYPS. So there you go. Balance SWBYPS is born. And, you know, his co-host, I mean, I already knew his co-host was just going to be some generic redneck dude named Big Tex. And it was kind of supposed to be like a pseudo Butch, you know, just a redneck dude. And it was just so I could make jokes about Butch during the shows, is all it was. It was going to be, now it's Balance SWBYPS and Big Tex, right? So after that, man, treat tapes became a sport. I mean, it was just out of control, man. And then Butch created his own little show, you know, it was called Black Days Productions with Flip Pallet and Travis Rabbit, right, to counter my little show, which started with, I think the first thing I did with them was, it was a show called Colleyville Rocks, and it was all about, you know, my bands and stuff. And it was very shortly after that I came up with Turmoil and Turtle Peak. And Turtle Peak came from the joke we always, you know, said to each other all the time, you know, I got a turtle peeking, got a turtle peeking. You know, I got to take a shit, right? Got a turtle peeking, got one touching cloth. So that's why I chose Turtle Peak, and not P-E-E-K, but P-E-A-K. It was Turtle Peak. It was supposed to be a mythical location in Wisconsin, which I've never Googled it, but I'm pretty sure there's not a Turtle Peak, Wisconsin. But if there is, hey. But anyway, Turmoil and Turtle Peak was the name of the show, and Turtle Peak, Wisconsin was the headquarters of it, right? And so I started doing shows, man, from live at Toast Fest, live on the road with Toast. And I think we had another Christmas party, and then the third Christmas party, I'm pretty sure, was the first Turmoil and Turtle Peak Christmas Special. And it became a yearly thing after that. But there's one other element to this story that has to be told. And so again, we're back at my old apartment. Let's go back to my old apartment again. And Butch is coming over specifically so we can listen to his new tape. Okay, so he comes over and he hands me not one tape but two tapes. It was two tapes, like taped together or glued together or something. It was a double, right? So I'm thinking, oh shit, man, this is like gonna be 3.5 hours of insanity, right? So he hands me this tape and an 8x10 black and white glossy autographed to me a picture of Scott Sams, who was a local news anchor in town at the time. And he hands me this autographed picture to me, to Chris, thanks for being a fan, or something like that, because he saw Scott Sams somewhere that day at an event. And so he hands me that, and he's got a poster that he's drawn up for his tape, right? And it's got all the characters on it and, you know, all this shit. And he takes it and he scotch tapes it to the center of my TV that was on at the time. And so we start listening to this tape, man, and you're watching TV, listening to this madness coming out of the speakers. And it's so funny. I mean, you had to be there. You just had to be there to see it. But it was so incredibly funny. And your brain just makes it make sense because it's all clear on the outside, but in the center it's all blurred and it just looks crazy, and your brain is just making it work with this shit coming out of the speakers. It was unbelievable, man. And that's where the term bluster vision came from, and that's what bluster vision is. And it was born yet again in my old apartment, 1600 Wayland, Remington Oaks, number 1022, buddy. My apartment, dude. The two great moments happened there. Balance SWBYPS being born and bluster vision. And I remember the next day after that, waking up and Butch is naked on my couch. There's a poster on my TV hanging halfway off like this, you know. And a picture, an autographed picture of Scott Sams on my kitchen table. And that's how bluster vision was created. So, needless to say, the Christmas parties just went absolutely insane after that, because now you have treat tapes and bluster vision. And then towards the end of Toast, it moved from tapes to CDs, because then you could start burning CDs now. So now it moved to CD technology, and the Christmas show is now on CD. And it was starting to become the staple of the Christmas parties, because it was basically the year-end wrap-up, you know. Like the bit with this show was Balance and Big Tex, they have a mobile broadcasting vehicle, like an RV, and they pull up outside the Gill, and they broadcast exclusively to the Toast Christmas party. And it was like a year-end wrap-up show, you know. It talked about everything that happened during the year. And so this goes on and on every year until the end of Toast. When Toast stopped playing, I carried on the tradition as the Smilin' Jack Records Christmas party. And Smilin' Jack Records being my record label. So we started having this Smiling Jack Records Christmas party, and then the Christmas special was the only thing that happened. And it was kind of awkward that first year because you had a couple people that, came to the Toast Christmas parties, but everybody else was all new people I was jamming with, and all their friends and all these people, and they had no idea what the hell is going on. I mean, who has parties like that? Who has parties where you sit around and get liquored up and listen to freaking nonsense through a PA in a garage? Who does that? Nobody. So they were kind of like, what the fuck is going on? But everybody figured it out real quick, and then the following parties were amazing. Because now there's this 5-hour long video show. Because it was like it went to VHS, like the second Smilin' Jack Records Christmas party. That's what I was getting at. It went from CD to VHS. So now it's a visual thing. So now I need something to look at. I got to have the characters. So Lynn Jennings, my buddy and the CEO of the Smilin' Jack art department, he's the one who designed these characters. I mean, all I told him was, hey man, I just want Balance to look like Brian May. I want him to be like a Brian May looking kind of guy. And then just a generic redneck dude, his cousin, right? And so he's the one that came up with them and designed them, and he's why they look the way they do today. I do think the first incarnation of Balance, I think the first little prototype he did of him was an actual picture it was an overlay over an actual picture of Brian May. It was great, but anyway, so we're going on and on here. Toast got back together in 2008, and that was right after my mom passed away, and we recorded the Rhapsody album, and that year was the last party at the Gill. That was the last Christmas party. And then I started having them at my house. Or I had one at my house the next year, and then 2010 is when my dad sold the Gill, sold the house, and lost the jam room and everything. Oh my God, it was horrible. It was so distressing. But took a moment of silence in 2010. I made a little presentation for myself, but took a break that year, didn't do a party. And then it started up again the next year, and it went on, and then it moved to DVD. I think after the 2010 break, it moved to DVD. So now the Christmas show is a double DVD set, right? And I think it went on till 2014 or 15. Maybe 2015, but I want to say it was 2014 was the last party that I had. And there was one Pump Jack Mary party over here, and like after that one, it was like, man, dude, it's very clear that I cannot have parties like that over here at my house. It just doesn't work at my house. It doesn't work like that over here, man. But anyway, it was fucking awesome. But anyway, I think the ones after that were a lot more mellow. But I think when the party, I stopped having parties in 14 or 15, and just that was it. And the show stopped and everything like that until 2019, when Lynn inspired me to bring these guys back and let's do a show on YouTube. So okay, that sounds cool. So I did a short little abbreviated show. I don't even think it was an hour long. And Lynn made the video, and we put out the Turmoil and Turtle Peak Christmas Special that year. It was a Christmas concert in the driveway of the Gill. Because they still, even though the Gill isn't there anymore, they still pull up outside the Gill and broadcast from outside the Gill. That's the bit. That's what they do, no matter what. And so got a good response from that in 2019, man. All the toast heads and all the people that knew it, they were like, man, that was really fun to see that again. And it was fun to do it too, and I liked it. So we followed it up in February with a Super Bowl show, or like an anti-Super Bowl show. It was another short little show like that. Then the whole 2020 fiasco hit, and honestly, man, between 2020 and 21, I was more concerned with just like surviving and keeping my house and, keeping my head above water somehow. So it was a very stressful time for me personally. So I didn't do shit for those 2 years. until 2022 when, of course, we lost Butch. And by the end of the year, I was like, man, I have to do a tribute show for Butch. I mean, it's necessary to do that, you know? So I did, along with a huge Toast Christmas party video. And I really loved doing it, man. It was so much fun. And all those things they meant so much more, you know, now that Butch is no longer with us. All those things mean so much more to me now. And so it was really fun to do it. And that's why I did it last year and this year, because I just love doing it. I found a new joy in doing it again, like the old days, you know. And it's because, you know, it's been part of my Christmas for so many years, you know. It's like when Christmas comes around, I'm subconsciously, if not directly, thinking about doing the Christmas show, you know. So it's kind of, even though it's, you know, basically make-believe, it's pretty much a journal of my life. It's a make-believe journal of my real life. That's what it really is, man. It's and of all of the people in Toast's lives and all the people associated with that little Toast family. I mean, it's basically a journal of our lives. And, you know, even the bits and the characters and the crazy things about it, they're all based on a real event or something. You know, it's based on a true story is what I'll say about it. So that's why I'm doing it, and it's fun. And you know, if you listen to all the shows from the first one all the way to the latest one, I mean, everything connects together because it's basically just a journal of my life. Like I said, you know, like they're usually year-end review shows, so you can go back and listen to every year, and I can see all the crazy things that happened that year. So anyway, I hope this helps, and I hope you will join us here in a couple of weeks for the Turmoil and Turtle Peak Christmas Special, 20th Christmas Special. It's a big one. Saturday, December 21st, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. This is 2024, by the way, in case anyone's watching this in the future. I don't think it's blocked anywhere this year. I think only Russia. It's blocked in Russia, so sorry, Russia. I don't know why, but I think we're good to go otherwise. So come join us, man. It's fun. It's like a virtual Christmas party, man. You know, I can set it up as a premiere. It premieres live, and everybody can live chat along with it. So it's kind of like we're having a Christmas party all around the world, all around the country. So come join us, man. Come chat with us. Come here. So come chat with us and come hang out, man. We'll see you soon, eh?
Oh, she wants a big candy cane, and she's all passed out on the old gray couch. Oh, sweetie, you left your milk and cookies out again. Oh, hello, Santa.
Ho, 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 ho,